Hello, Andy.
Hi there, Warren. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Very good. For those who are new to our podcast, you've just heard our theme, Rock and Roll Queen, which comes courtesy of Glenn Greenwood and John Springate.
We've done about 20 episodes of the Shouted Out podcast so far, and obviously we're planning many more to follow that. But we decided it was time to do something a little different for this one, primarily because we've had quite a few requests for an introductory type episode. There have been quite a few new members on the main Facebook Glitterband page, some of who have, come across us from previously being fans of GG and are learning more about the band, etc., and have been to gigs and seen the band and tried to renew their interest, etc. So as we aim to please, and we've bowed to the requests that have been made, we're going to be doing a roundtable podcast today about the Glitterband singles.
And we're featuring 14 tracks, including all the hits, of course. There's a few which we felt didn't quite, or a few singles which we felt didn't quite qualify for these episodes.
Yeah, so we had quite a bit of toing and froing on this and a few punch-ups about a handful of releases. We decided in the end that we would take the She Was All Right, which is the lead track of a 4-track EP that came out in 76, 77, out because it's technically not a single, so I hope that's all right with everybody. We also took it out, Got to Get a Message Back to You, which was a one-off single from John Springate, Jerry Shepherd and Pete Phipps, released under the Air Traffic Control moniker when they were trying to, test the water for releasing stuff still, but not under the Glitterband name, in case that was, an issue in that point of the 70s. And finally, we also took the Angel Face re-recording by Jerry and Pete, which was done in 1989 out, just basically because it's a re-recording. But, these tracks will come up elsewhere in future podcasts. So, if anybody's lacking information about those, we can give you a pointer about them now, but you'll hear more about them later on.
I think this is about the 6th round table we've done, Andy. I'm in Melbourne, and actually you've recently moved, haven't you?
I have, yeah. So I've moved from North London to about 6 minutes down the road in Hertfordshire.
Well, maybe we should find out where our guests are located. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Warren.
And that's Susan Shepherd. And Susan, where are you?
I'm in Andover, which is a small market town, roughly equidistant between Salisbury and Winchester in the central southern part of England.
I'm pleased to say Joe Swinford is back with us. Hi, Joe, and how's the Trash City Radio Social Selection podcast going?
It's in the throes of being moved to somewhere else. Basically, there's too much of it out there, and listening figures have dropped down. People are leaving social media in their droves, so they don't even know it's happening. So I'm taking a break from it, but I've been offered by John Robb, who co-wrote a lot of tracks on John Russell's Last Glam in Town.
Yeah, Last Glam in Town. No,
well, I know him. I know him from way back, and he's offered me to go on to his Louder Than War radio, and I'm still working on that. And I'm in Seattle, actually, and it's sunny. And it's known as the Rain City because it rains every day.
Even though you're in the process of moving, your podcasts are still where they are, aren't they? They haven't moved.
Yeah. They're on Mixcloud. There's loads and loads of them, different ones. There's glam ones, soul, punk, all different ones on... you've listened to a few of them.
Well, I recently listened to the Alternative Christmas podcast.
Yeah. Well, that was Jean. My wife did that.
Yeah, I thought that was terrific. And Joe, I particularly enjoyed the first song, the Ginger Wildheart track. I loved that.
It's my current obsession.
And our third guest is Richard Kenner. Richard, you're also not in the UK. Hi, Richard.
Yeah, I'm in Alhurén el Grande in Spain, which is about half an hour from Malaga. And same distance to the coast, say Fuengirola. So that's where I am.
Here's our first track. But before we start, every song you'll hear in this podcast was composed by Glitterband members, and that's something that distinguishes them from their peers.
I see a picture
So that was the unmistakable sound of the song Angel Face, which was composed by Jerry Shepherd and John Russell of the band, and undoubtedly really the most well-known Glitter Band single of them all. It reached number 4 in the charts in the UK in 1974, and actually did even better than that in other parts of the world. According to the end of the year UK top-selling singles list, it outsold many top 3 and even a top 2 charting record.
And just for fun, we're going to rate each single out of 10, which is what we normally do. And the same rule as always, a maximum of 110 per person. Susan.
Well, the single that started it all off for them as an individual band, and what a choice. The first band's individual release in 1974, included on Hey, the album, and like Andy said, one of the biggest selling hits, I think, of that year, and of them themselves. So the opening bars just tell you what you're going to get. The saxophone, the drums, the stomping, the claps. It's the beginning of Angel Face and the beginning of their career as an individual band. It's catchy, it's glam rock all over, and you know the basic fact is that it must have been loved, as it wasn't a one-hit wonder. So that speaks for itself. I just love it. Like Andy said, one of the iconic songs, recognised by most people. I'm going to give it an 8 for reasons which will become apparent later, I think, but I love it, and that's a phrase I'm going to use a lot during this podcast.
Joe.
What can be said about this that hasn't been said a million times already? I think it's a brilliant single. I bought it near enough on the day of release, and I still think it sounds great now, and I wish it got more love than it actually does, and we know why, but it's a fantastic record, and it's as good as anything Bolan, Bowie, Slade put out at that time, and I'll give it 10.
Ooh,
Great. Richard.
Yeah, well, pretty much covered it, haven't we, really? Say a bit about the the production sort of is a big part of that song, innit? You know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously Mike Leander was used to doing GG's sort of songs, and it to a big point he's using the same sort of production, I guess, as he did on that, except he won't be playing the drums, I presume, on this one.
That was Pete. Yeah.
I presume there's a trombone on that, isn't there, as well as sax.
Yeah.
I think I can hear the low sort of trombone sort of, which will be John Russell, of course. Yeah, great song. I mean, I can remember one of the things I always loved about glam rock is when you went to a fairground.
Yeah.
You know, the travelling
Yeah.
fairs, and they used to be really bass heavy, didn't they? You know,
Yeah.
big, say the waltzers. And whenever they played any of these type of songs, it was absolutely magical to me as a
While
as
you
a
were
kid.
getting a kick in. I probably went to
I'm
different
trying not to remember
fairgrounds.
that bit.
I'm trying to go to different fairgrounds than you.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have an angel face because I had two black eyes. So. Yeah, but yeah, it's a great. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Andy.
yeah, I have to say, obviously, we're all wearing headphones to do the podcast, and obviously it's quite crisp listening that way with the compression and stuff, but it's exciting. It came across like an exciting record.
That's a good way of putting it.
And, you know, I can sort of see that whole sort of fairground thing. You're on the waltzers and you go... Yeah, it is a great song. Very simple, obviously. Simple lyrics. Very teenagey, I suppose. Yeah, I have to say I don't know what I gave it when we reviewed the Hey album or it as a single, but my score today is a 9. Warren?
Look, as Richard said, if you're familiar with GG's records, Angel Face is exactly what you'd expect from the Glitter Band. I think it's a good song. It's not quite my favourite, but I think it's a great record, a top-class record. I'll give it an 8.5. And If you'd like to hear a little more about the song, Andy and I have somehow managed to devote 2 podcasts to it, Andy. That was quite an achievement, wasn't it?
Yeah. Somebody tell me what I scored it, because I can't remember.
Yeah, neither can
Probably
I. But yeah, we've done 2 podcasts on the song, and you can hear us chat about and play the track that the band originally put forward as their first single, but was rejected by producer Mike Leander, as well as an early version of Angel Face on those podcasts.
I'm saying goodbye. Until the next time, I'll keep a love light burning. Until the next time, love will be what you were to me. Until the next time, the world will go on turning. Until the next time, come on, babe.
If you're even slightly familiar with the Glitter Band's discography, you weren't expecting that. We're not doing the singles in chronological order, rather we're mixing them up.
Until the Next Time, which is the title of that track, features original Glitter Band members Jerry Shepherd and Tony Leonard, co-written between Jerry Shepherd and John Rossell. And it was produced by Mike Leander in 1981. It was also released, I think, a couple of years later again on the Polo label. It was recorded a few years after the Glitter Band's period of chart success, obviously. And it was composed by Jerry and John along with Eddie Seago. Now, that last name, Eddie Seago, may seem familiar. Eddie Seago wrote or co-wrote Games Up along with Jerry and John Springate for the Rock and Roll Dudes album. And he obviously wrote tracks with Gigi as well.
Susan.
Right, you're going to laugh at me now. So, when I was given the tracks for this podcast, and I wrote down Until the Next Time, I played Until Tomorrow in my head. So they've no business actually making 2 records with the word until at the start of it. But as soon as I started playing it, I thought, oh yeah, of course, yes, stupid me. So don't laugh at me, but there you go. It's a softer version of the traditional Glitter Band sound. The lyrics are really clear. You definitely get up and dance to this. Harmonies are spot on. The chorus especially. The drum beat's great. Not so well known, obviously, as earlier tracks, but I think just classic but soft Glitter Band. You can sing along. It's close to what we're used to hearing from them, but more like People Like You, People Like Me, which we'll come to later on in the podcast. It's catchy, it's easy listening. If you're a fan, you'll love it, just because it sounds like them, but it's just softer, but perhaps a bit older version. I love it. I just love it. Like I said, you're going to hear a lot of that. I gave it an 8.
Joe.
When I saw this song come up on the list, I've got it on 7-inch. I bought it. I saw them play at a freshers' ball at Exeter University. It's exclusively for students, but I knew people when I got in, and it was the Glitter Band, Department S, if you remember them, is Vic there?
Oh, yeah.
And Toots and the Maytals were headlining, and they played this single, and me and my mate went, wow, that's pretty good. But, yeah, I like it. I think it's a good song. I don't think it's up there with Angel Face and stuff like that, but I still think it's a good song, and I'll give it 6.5.
Richard.
Are we load halves?
We are allowed halves, Joe.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like it. It's obviously it's really based on the old style, innit? I mean, we're talking quite a few years after 81, aren't we? We're talking with this one. I suppose the trouble is when it, although it's typical sort of their sound from the earlier years, it's 1981, and I'm just thinking, is anyone going to pick up on it? You know. Maybe someone who was a bit too young for him in 74 will think it's quite an original sound, even in 81. I don't know, but it's obviously produced in mind of the old style, isn't it?
It was produced by Mike Leander, Richard. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, if that had been really recorded in the heyday, and it'd been a single release in 74, 75, it probably would have been a hit, I would imagine.
I think as well, going back, the fans that were there in the mid 70s where they were at their heyday, if they heard this, they would say, great, yeah, an absolute reminder of what we had before, and that would be a reason to buy the single as well and to listen to it.
I suppose it. I mean, around that time, Gigi was moving into the universities, wasn't he? Where all the younger fans would be. I mean, he built up a huge following in the university circuit, as we know. So, but whether people would still buy it, I don't know. You know.
Well, I was one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it just reminded me so much of,
Yeah.
of my teenage years that,
Yeah.
it's definitely on my radar, although I did
Yeah.
mistake the title for another one, but I'm not admitting that. I didn't say that, did I? Did I say it out loud? Sorry.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So Warren, I'll give it a 7. That one.
Andy,
I feel like, have we talked about this track before, Warren?
we haven't. We haven't.
Oh, right, okay. Maybe I was thinking about another song, but just a little story about this. I obviously, it was days of having cassettes in your car, wasn't it, when you were wanting to listen to these sort of tracks in your car. And I remember putting it on like a compilation CD, cassette. And, there were times when I was, sort of driving younger people and stuff in the car. And I found one of them singing it, and another one was singing it, and another. I was thinking, blimey, this is actually obviously a really catchy tune, because it wasn't of their genre. They were younger people, and I think it stands out as a very catchy song. Maybe that's a silly story, I don't know. I think it's good. Obviously, it hasn't got the brass on it, so you hear more of the star slide guitar, which I like. I like it that way. The production's a bit better than maybe the 70s recordings, better technology. I really like it, and I have to give it a 10.
Oh,
Great. I love everything about this record. The melody, the lyrics, and Jerry's vocal. And a lot of what I'm about to say is what Richard said, such as, if this track was released in 1975, it would have been a big hit. But in 1981, it was the right song at the wrong time. Again, the same as Richard. I give it a 9. Andy and I have not covered Until the Next Time yet, as we just mentioned. But of course we will, some stage. And we'll look at the demo and a version featuring a female vocalist with a terrific, completely different arrangement. What do you think of that version, Andy, with the female vocalist?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there were a few songs recorded ahead of that being, or a few songs demoed ahead of that being given a final recording session and mix. So they're quite different, the other songs that were recorded that Jerry and John wrote, and presumably Eddie. It's going to be very interesting to go through those in comparison to this.
I'm so sorry, had to be this way. All my love gone in one day. The tears I cry for you are not the same as the tears you cry for me. It's a different game. The songs I sing for you, they never end. I write a million words, my love.
So that was a song, The Tears I Cried, and it was a Jerry Shepherd composition, released in 1975, and it was the 5th single they'd released in little over a year in 1975. It reached the top 10 in the UK, of course, and did even better in Australia, as Warren will testify. It reached number 5 in the Australian charts in 1975.
Susan.
I've got more questions than answers on The Tears I Cried. Was this released under another title in Australia, Warren?
No, same title, Susan.
Same title. Okay.
Good question, though. Why'd you ask it?
Well, because I've read a couple of things that said it was released as something called Cry, and I've never heard of that, so I just thought somebody from Australia would know. So it wasn't Tears I Cried. Okay.
Yeah, Susan, I should say the only thing about all Australian releases, as I'm sure Andy will attest to, is the labels would generally get everything wrong. Like Jerry's name would be spelled incorrectly. And I haven't looked at it for years, but I'll guarantee it was called The Tears I Cry rather than The Tears I Cried, you know?
I've seen that.
that's maybe-
It's
yeah.
exactly, Richard. So what I think happened in Australia, I assume it was either really bad fax or else someone was just on a really bad long-distance phone call and just jotted the name down. But all the credits are wrong on the Australian releases. The early ones were bad. And my favourite of the lot is Angel Face, where John Russell gets credited as John Ruffle. Sorry, Susan.
No, at least I know now.
And he wasn't happy because he toured
It ruffled his
Australia.
feathers.
Yeah, well, it did, Eddie, because he toured there at that time and he wasn't impressed, and fair enough. He actually was shown the single and he saw his name on it, so it's not.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised his feathers were ruffled. It's another track that I just absolutely love. It's a real, it's the real Glitter Band stamp on it. I really haven't got a lot to say about it, except I absolutely love it. A real Glitter Band stomping track, just what I love, and I give it a 9.
Joe.
I'm one of those people that adores the classic Glitter Band lineup and the records from that period. And if you look at it, it's only like 2.5 years, which is, you think of the output in that short space of time, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably say 74 to 70, late 75, because then we went Paris Match. That's 76, 77. But Tears I Cried is another classic in my book, and I just love it, and I'll give it a 9.
Richard.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites, I think, of the Glitter Band, this one. It's great vocal from John Springate, as usual. The guitar's obviously a bit cleaner. I don't think it'd be the star guitar on this, would it? It's more,
It is on there. Star guitar is
Oh, it
on
is?
there. But
Oh, that's
obviously
interesting.
other guitar as
It's a
well.
Yeah, it sounds a lot cleaner, doesn't it? So, to me anyway, it seems a lot cleaner than, say,
Yeah, it's
Angel
not so
Face or something.
distorted. And
Do you think it was a different guitar then, Andy?
oh no, he probably played
SG or something?
an SG, but turned a
Yeah.
bit of the distortion off and stuff.
Off. Yeah,
And
yeah.
EQ'd
was
it
it-
slightly different.
Yeah.
But the
It
main
was in-
guitar parts are general, normal tuning.
Yeah.
So your
yeah.
riff, and your and the scratchy, whatever, just normal guitar.
Yeah, yeah. What's interesting that when you played that then through mine, because I wrote down about the chorus, and on that version we played, the chorus was central, and the version I'm used to, the chorus is in one channel.
Yeah, Richard. Sorry, Richard. You're right. It was the mono. That's the single version. It's the mono version, which was on
It's
the single.
it's in mono.
Yeah,
I was
and Mike did what I think was a very, very quick remix for Listen to the Band, because I think the stereo remix of that song is not
right, because I was
fantastic.
listening to the version on the 3 CD singles collection today.
Yeah, that
and
was
that was in the right hand channel. And
Yeah,
I
that's-
wrote down I'm not keen on it on
Yeah.
that part of it because it actually sounds distorted to me.
Richard, I've got a theory on this. I reckon when that Listen to the Band was presented to Bell as an album, right? And I'm assuming maybe there was a track they left off. I don't know, but I reckon Bell said, "Okay, this needs a hit." So I reckon they've gone back to Mike and said, "Okay, give us a hit." So he's remixed Tears I Cried reluctantly, very quickly, and said, "Here it is." Now that's, I know, a ridiculous theory. There's probably no truth in it, but I do think it was a last-second addition to that album. I reckon it probably
Doesn't
came
fit,
from it.
really, does it?
It doesn't fit at all, Joe. I think Val has said, "No, you've got to put this song on the
Yeah,
album."
no, you think? No, I think.
Well, you'd assume that Mike and the band members didn't want it on there because, as you said, as you've said, as Richard's indicated, it just doesn't fit. And I agree with Richard. Richard, it does sound distorted, and it just doesn't sound anything like as smooth as the rest of the album. So,
No,
it's
yeah.
just, I think it's a mix that was knocked off very, very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, don't detract from the fact it's a great song. Really, I mean, it's one of my favourites. Yeah, it's just great. No wonder it was a hit, really. But a bit different. I mean, it is different, isn't it, than the first sort of three. Than Angel Face.
I'd like to know which how much input they had in selecting the singles. Andy?
Don't think. Probably not.
For
None.
a lot of it, not a lot at all. But you know, obviously in the studio, on certain songs, you know, they're going to be sitting there and might go, "Oh, this is a hit. This is a single." You know, other
Right.
times earlier in Hey, it was all a bit of a, you know, theocracy saying,
Yeah.
you know, what's going to go out and what isn't.
Because I'm sure there's songs that they detest. I know they don't like Just For You very much. I remember reading that somewhere. But
Yeah, okay,
I
we'll
just
be
want-
quiet about that. Thank you, Jay.
yeah. But I think that's more from a musician's point of view, probably,
Yeah,
than actual song. Because, you know, if you see things with your favourite acts and they'll go, "Oh, that's a real bugger to play, that is," you know, and it's
Yeah.
not that they don't like the song. I don't know. But I think it's great. Tears I Cried is great. But I'd just like to know what. I know at that time, nearly every artist was ruled by management and etc. You know, I don't think any of them really had any say in it. I don't know.
I think, Joe, I reckon it was pretty clear with Tears I Cried. Jerry had written Goodbye My Love.
yeah.
So I think it was fairly clear that he was probably going to be
They
writing
wanted another.
the follow-up in the
Yeah, they wanted to
similar
follow
vein.
up in the same vein. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Great record.
Sorry, Richard.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's fine. I'd give that one a 9. Yeah, really like that one.
Andy.
Yeah, one of my favourite Glitter Band songs. I think when you get to the chorus, it's like 4 to the floor, do do, clap, you know, and quite chanty in some ways, but it's still actually, if you really slow it down and play it on acoustic guitar or something, or as a slowed down ballad, it really works well, and that, you know, that's a good sign of how great a song it is.
There's that version on
for-
YouTube, Andy, where there's that version of the song on YouTube where Andy plays it with
yeah,
Roger
I
Saunders.
filmed that.
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
you?
yeah, I filmed.
Really?
Well, myself and a guy who ran the GG fan club filmed that. Yeah, it works well. Obviously, apart from Roger playing the wah wah, which is a bit over the
Yeah,
top.
you get a few funny looks from Jerry, doesn't he? It's quite funny.
Yeah. And that doesn't go down that well. But yeah, I think it's a great track. For me, it's a 9.5.
Gee, this song's going
Warren?
down well. The Tears I Cried was the follow-up to Goodbye My Love, which we just mentioned. That obviously represented quite a task. I'm not sure if it's a better song, but I think it's a great song.
Oh, it
But
is.
but I definitely think it's a better record. It features less production tricks than probably any other Glitter Band hit. For example, you can hear Pete Phipps play drums on this track. Those really neat little fills that he puts in.
Yeah.
I think are just wonderful. That add so much little guitar parts. It sounds like it's a band playing. Even though I think it's the same. I think Mike got the best take of the chorus and repeated it. I think it's the same take of the chorus. That doesn't matter. But you listen to John; he's actually singing the song, and it's looser than their sort of than their earlier records. I think it's a great track. However,
Drums are a bit Phil Spector-y and
yeah, but the fills are really. But those little fills, Andy, are lovely. You know, I mean, Pete is
fills,
such a musical drummer, and that comes across on that song. They fit the song, fortunately, beautifully. Unfortunately, it was released at the start of the Bay City Rollers' 6-week run at number 1 with Bye Bye Baby. And I reckon that probably didn't help its sales in the UK, because I would have thought this was definitely a top 3 at least song. But it's one of my favourites, so I'm giving this a 9. And as we've sort of indicated, Andy and I will be covering the song in depth over the next few months. And that will include, I guess, that live sort of track that we spoke about, Andy. We'll talk about that again. And we'll play a bit of that. And we'll also include the Jerry Shepherd demo that eventually became The Tears I Cried.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Here come the nights, those lonely nights, those lonely nights that turn into lonely days, lonely days. The message is clear that you're sad. Let there be nothing when the one you love is walking out the door. Let there be nothing when the one you love is walking out the door. I see an empty space.
Now, this single was released in 1986, and it's entitled Nothing at All. Not so well known, I guess. It was co-written supposedly by the whole band with a guy called Richard Barnes, who'd had some singles released in sort of 70s, which didn't get a huge amount of success. And he'd also performed on Mike Leander and Eddie Sego's Matador album, along with John Springate. So at that point in time, the band were John Springate, Joe Shepherd, Pete Phipps, and fairly new keyboardist Eddie Spence, although he'd been with GG for quite some years. When the band came back together to work with GG again, obviously Eddie Spence was retained, and he went out on the road with them as the Glitter Band for their gigs as well. It was released on the band's own label Tempo, and let's hear what people have to say about this one, because obviously it's quite different.
And starting off as usual with Susan.
I think from listening to what the other contributors have said about the previous tracks you've played this evening or today, that you pick up nuances in the tracks that I don't necessarily pick up. I'm listening to the whole thing rather than the individual instruments or voices or the melodic drums or whatever. And I think overall for Nothing at All, it's not, you wouldn't necessarily hear it and recognise it as the Glitter Band.
No.
However, as a standalone song, I think it's fantastic. I've listened to it on my listening ahead for the podcast. I played it on repeat, which is one of my, as you'll probably know, one of the indications that I actually love a song. I keep playing it and playing it and playing it. It's absolutely great vocals. It probably starts with less promise than it eventually delivers, because it does start off quite quietly, and then he really belts it out. The keyboards are consistent throughout. They're fantastic. My much used phrase, I absolutely love it, adore it. 9.5.
Joe.
I didn't even know this existed until you put it on the list. It's not for me at all. Not in any shape or form. It could be anybody. I'm not dissing it, fair enough and all that, but it's just not for me. And when you've written songs as good as Goodbye My Love, Angel Face, etc., 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 that just don't match up to me. Sorry. And I'll give it 1.
Oh.
Well, I won't, but...
Oh, no need to apologise, Joe. I mean, the idea of this is we score
I saw
things
that there and
out
I
of the
listened to
season.
it and I thought, oh,
Yep.
God, they're going to... See, I got to be honest with stuff. I can't bullshit. It's like...
That's
Sorry,
the
I
idea of
swore.
No, that's
No,
the
no,
idea.
we respect that.
That's the idea, Joe.
Honesty,
Being
yeah.
honest is the idea, Joe. Yeah.
I think it's like I said, it doesn't sound, it's not a traditional Glitter Band sound at all, but as a standalone track, I did love it.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah, it's 86, so you can't sound like the traditional glitter band in 1986 releasing a song. I mean, that period has been and gone. So to a point, you've got to move with the times, haven't you? I mean, you look what else is in the charts, and every band sort of moves with whether they say they do or they don't, but they do. They listen to what's in the charts, and to a point, they start putting a little bit of that into it, if you know what I mean. They couldn't keep releasing the same.
No, I agree. I agree
You know,
with
they
that,
move.
but
You've got to move on a bit.
I agree with that, but
yeah.
I just don't. That to me is just.
No, that's fair enough, Joe. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's
I
fair.
don't,
I'm just trying to put forward from the band's point of view.
Yeah. I totally get that.
The Parish Match thing didn't work, so we're gonna try something else. So, as a standalone song, I think it's a great song. I mean, I love it. We have talked about this one before, you know.
We have.
We did, because we had this same sort of thing about it, and I said that it didn't. To me, it doesn't sound particularly 80s compared to, say, we were talking about the hair metal thing before.
Yeah.
I mean, the production on them is appalling, and I don't think
that...
the production on this is that bad at all. I like it anyway. I'm going to defend it. I love it.
Okay.
I think
That's
it's
fair
great.
enough.
And I'm going to give it a 9.
Andy.
Right. Yeah, I really like this song. I think it's catchy. When I was thinking about what I might say about this, I think the thing that I'd gone through my head, like Joe was saying, I would have liked to have probably produced it with a little bit less reverb, but the drums need that gated sound and stuff. And it was very much of that time to sort of make things as a wet mix. Doesn't really matter to me. I like Glitterband doing other styles of music. Obviously, we know that some other songs were in the background for single release. The First Time is a song they did live, and John wrote that really. It was really his song. He was trying to sell it to other groups and stuff, but they'd always said they might like to try and release it themselves. But then this came out, and it wasn't a letdown. It's a good song. I like it. If we have talked about it, that's probably when I talked about it being a comparison to, I don't know, not necessarily Level 42, but other sort of bands of that ilk. And I would say, I'd probably go for an 8.5.
Another one of my favourites, beautifully sung and produced by John Springate, and I reckon the vocal arrangement sounds like John was channeling Mike Leander. I would have loved to hear a Glitterband album around this time, so I'll give this one yet another 9. And if you'd like to hear John Springate talking about this song, and that was really interesting, wasn't it, Andy?
Yes, yeah,
That was great. Yeah, have a listen to our An Impromptu Glitterband Chat with John Springate podcast. This one's slightly different.
This is the follow-up to the Angel Face single, Just For You, also composed by John Rossell and Jerry Shepherd, and it peaked at number 10 in the UK. Now, a bit of a warning, our regular listeners will know that we've talked about this song before and we have wildly different views about this song. Guys, has anything changed?
What do you think, Susan?
No, nothing's changed. Yeah, like you said, Andy, as
You still hate
existing
it?
Be careful. As all previous listeners to the Roundtable podcast will know, this is my very favourite Glitterband song. It starts straight off the Glitter Band chant, the drums, the saxophone you can hear, really strong vocals from Jerry. I think it's during their very glittery, a glittery stage of their career, because I think in the videos and on Top of the Pops they had glitter in their hair during this when they were singing Just For You. I can't really put my finger on it why I love it so much. I know John Springate could absolutely do without it, and he sings it because it's a well-known song rather than because he likes it at all. And there's another member of the panel, I'm mentioning no names, but it's Andy Chamberlain, doesn't like it either. But I'm afraid nothing you can say is going to stop me from absolutely loving this track. Yeah, I fell in love with it all those years ago. I still love it. You know, maybe that if I'm speaking for the fans, the teenage girl fans from all those years ago, maybe I thought they were singing to me. And maybe that's, I don't know. I just love it. And as expected, I'm going to give it a 10. I love it.
Joe, Team Susan or Team
love
Andy?
it. I'm Team Susan, mate. I was playing air drums to that, and any drummer will know, you other drummers out there will know that you do that a lot, and that's a great record. I don't know why people don't like that and prefer stuff to me, but in my opinion, that is far. That's a great record. It's a great record, and I'll give it 9.5.
Richard?
Thank you, Joe.
That's no problem. Anytime.
Just wait for what's coming.
Right.
All
Okay.
right.
To me, it sounds. I don't know how the recording process was at the time, but to me, it sounds as if it was rushed.
I
The
think
recording.
Richard, I think
Yes.
it was, and I think the
Oh,
writing
right.
the writing was rushed as well. Just very quick story. JR was hanging around in the control room while they were mixing the rest of the album, and Mike said, quote, "Rather than hanging around here, can you go around to Jerry's place and write another song?"
Oh God.
That's what happened. That's how it came about.
Right. Yeah, to me, if you listen, when I listen to it anyway, I'm listening it. I listen to stuff on quite decent gear, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
And there's a lot of tapists on this,
Yeah.
more than the other songs. So I'm just wondering if it was almost demoed, or it was, it wasn't, the quality control wasn't the same as some of the other stuff.
I think it was a different studio. I don't think.
Oh,
was
was it?
I don't think. Well, judging by JR's story, right? I don't think it was recorded in France like the rest of the album. Or most of the album, probably apart from Angel Face. And Angel Face actually has quite a bit of hiss on it as well.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, that's all I can say. It's okay. It's not one of my favourites by any stretch of the imagination. But obviously, it is one of those that some people love it and some people think it's not that great. So for me, it's sort of mid ground. So five for me on that one.
Andy?
I'm not going to say much. I made a lot of enemies the first time I spoke about this song. Good that I have made a lot of enemies.
No, good that you're not going to say much.
Not my favourite. I think there's some quite clumsy phrasing places in it, but it's a glitter song, and I appreciate other people really like it. I'm going to give it a 4 today. Maybe I gave it a 2 last time. I don't know. But yeah, let's have a 4 for it today from me. Warren?
My favourite off Hay when I bought the album, shortly after it came out, which was many years ago. I'm not quite as keen now, but I think it's a good glitter-style pop song. And it has 2 hooks, so I'll give it a 7.5. We covered this song and what else the Glitter Band were up to at the time of its release, which was a lot, Andy, wasn't it? They were touring and doing all sorts of stuff. And that was our podcast entitled, unsurprisingly, Just For You, but also And the Single That Almost Was. So it was called Just For You and the Single That Almost Was. So if you want to find out what the single that almost was, you can listen to that podcast. And we talk about in detail, as I said, their massive workload around that time. And one thing worth remembering is they had a lot of work with Gary as well. So there was a lot going on. And at the end of the podcast, we play a stripped-back version of the song that Mike Leander had prepared for TV appearances. And it featured, wait for this everyone, no hand claps.
People who say we should all live together, and I pray for that day. Some are lonely and dissatisfied. Give a hand to the man who is standing by your side. People like you and people like me need somebody to lean on if we want to stay free. All come together and maybe we'll see people like you and people like this.
Released at a time when the Glitter Band needed a hit, and it worked. People Like You and People Like Me was written by Jerry Shepherd and John Springate, and it reached number 5 in the UK chart in 1976. And it also charted quite highly, I'd say, in an assortment of European countries. Yeah.
Susan.
This is probably one of the only tracks of the Glitter Band that's made me cry at times. It's definitely a departure from their foot stomping theme, which, as you all know, and I'm in common with Joe, I absolutely love. The drum beat's not so strong, the hand clapping's not so strong, but it's a brilliant pop song, I think, and it's one I've come to really love. I don't know if I've told this story before, but in the UK, Radio 1 had a DJ called Peter Powell, and he chose it as his record of the week in the February of when it was released. I think it was 1976. And it was called a power play, and he didn't play the power play at the same time during his program every day, so you had to listen to the whole program to get to hear his power play. And People Like You and People Like Me was the power play for 1 week in, I think it must have been February school half term, because I remember listening to a show every day, all the show for 5 days until the track was played, then I'd turn it off. There's some really, really powerful lines in there. We should all be together and I pray for that day. Give a hand to the man who's standing by your side. I think it's a sentiment we should all be taking to heart. Still relevant today, unfortunately, as it was all those years ago. So if you need somebody to lean on, if you want to stay free, a message to take up and appreciate. A very different song from them, a very meaningful song, and like I said, one that's made me cry. They usually make me laugh and giggle and dance, but this one a bit different, and I'm going to give it a 9.
Joe.
I do like the story about when John and Jerry went to see the Pistols at Notre Dame Hall, and they went, "Oh, I think we've had it." And he said, "We were singing People Like You and People Like," and there were the Pistols doing Pretty Vacant, Anarchy and all that. So they did appreciate, a lot of people from that era dismissed punk rock, like Cliff Richard and Steve Harley. They both sorry, that's just me. And they dismissed it, and they were threatened and said that, I think it was Steve Harley said punk rock destroyed his career. Well, good. But they, Jerry
Sorry,
and John.
Steve.
Yeah, I know.
Steve, it's all
I'm
right.
sorry. Sorry, mate. He's dead, isn't he?
He's not
I
happy.
don't think he wouldn't be too concerned at the moment.
Ah, he's gone. You don't worry, he's sorted. Look, come up and see me sometime. And
Yeah, massive.
No, that
ego.
was Mae West.
yeah. But yeah, Steve Harley, massive ego. But I like it. I like it, but I also like that they appreciated that Around the Corner was something like that, like punk rock, because it changed my life. So, and I'll give it a 6.
Richard.
Yeah, I think it's a really good production, this one. I love the production on it. The vocals recorded very sort of intimate, innit? Close microphone sort of. It's just got a different feel about it, hasn't it? That vocal, I think, than the normal thing from them. When you hear the original, the other version, it's very country vibe, isn't it? And you can even hear it in the Finnish one. But the other version is very sort of country and western.
Yeah.
And then you've got that Rhodes piano. Is it a Rhodes piano? I think that's on it. Who'd be playing that? Would that be Mike Leander or
Yeah,
Pete or Mike? Possibly.
Mike.
Big Mike, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I think.
it's getting
Sort
away
of-
from obviously. Sorry, Joel, go on.
You fit like what you just said there about this country feel. It fits into me alongside "Don't Make Promises You Can't Keep." That's sort.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they were going with that.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see
'Cause
that.
he plays Jerry plays banjo on that, I think.
John, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's got.
Hey, Richard, I reckon when they did it live, it was a bit more like that countryish version.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
reckon.
I mean, John. I said before, John came to my 50th and he did his solo act, and the track he was using on that was really country.
Yeah.
It even had the down 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 ending sort of thing,
Oh, yeah.
But it worked.
Jerry's
It's
little
such
end,
it's
yeah.
such a good song that it. I presume the original version was wrote in that. I think he told the story. I think he tells the story in his solo act that they tried different styles of recording that song, trying to find which one was going to be the one that they used. So I can see that it's definitely got that country vibe. It's a great song. It's far away from the Glitter Band we know from '74, though, isn't it? I mean, that whole album, wasn't it? Listen to the Band is a right mishmash of
Yep.
different styles. So
Oh, yeah.
I think we've said
Yep.
before, they were sort of they didn't really know which direction they were gonna take at that point. I don't think. I like that. Eight for me.
Yeah, so for me, quite a few things have been said. I think it shows this song what great songwriters they were, and in many ways the world was their oyster. I think had they continued, obviously we know they wrote some other material after the Paris Match album, and if they kept going, they probably would have come up with some hits for other bands and stuff sooner. I think it's a very catchy song. They knew they'd have to maybe bring keyboards to the forefront on a song like this. Vocals, John's vocal, the pitch of it and stuff is great. Good thing about this is it really worked well for them live because the chorus is just great. The left sing the chorus, the right sing the chorus, you in the middle, everybody. It really works for engaging a crowd. So from that point of view, it's a great sing-along song. It worked at that time for them. Otherwise, potentially, their last hit would have been, a single or so before that. So all power to them, I say. Writing catchy songs isn't necessarily that easy and straightforward. I would give this song an 8. Warren?
Very middle of the road, but as we mentioned at the start of this podcast, unlike their peers, the Glitter Band composed all of their singles. But the problem I have with the song is that it does sound like it could have been produced by many of their peers. But it does feature an attractive sing-along melody, immaculate production, which includes a clever production trick that Mike used between the chorus and the verse. And it took them back into the top 5. It lends itself to cover versions, particularly of an acoustic or folky type, and I wonder if there are one or two around that have been yet to make public. Anyone?
Have I got to put my hand up?
I think you should.
There is a cover version that I've uploaded, yes, with a female vocal. Or have I not done that yet?
I don't think you have.
Okay.
I really like
All right.
that.
Well, now I've settled in my house, so I can get my studio back together
And did you mean?
get that finished.
Do you mean Do you mean the one you recorded with someone? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Have
heard. You sent
have I
you sent
uploaded
it
it?
to me. No, you sent
did
it
I?
to
Oh.
me. Yeah, you sent
Oh.
it to me when I was, when I was doing some recordings for that project.
That
Ah,
sounds
right.
like favouritism.
You just sent it to me.
I can send it to you as well if you like.
Yes, please.
I think I'd prefer that to the Glitter Band's record. So 6.5 for the record, but probably an 8 for the Andy version. 1 to go.
I'm back in town to see you. I can't believe that I will be so near you. But you will see that you were wrong. I didn't know that it was only the words that you told me then. I've been to heartache, touching to torture. I hear the music, like into the slaughter. I can't believe what I saw. You took my love anymore. I've been to heartache. I've been to heartache.
Released shortly after the Glitter Band reformed in 1982, this song, Heartbeats a Heartache, which was composed by Jerry Shepherd and John Springate, featured Tony Lennon on drums and newer member Eddie Spence on keyboards. It was released on a label called Cheapskate, which was Chas Chandler's label. He was actually Slade's manager. It was also released in Australia with a little bit more backing vocal on it as well. So there's 2 versions of this out there.
Susan.
Not really a track that I was familiar with before we started the podcast, but we have talked about it before. It didn't. It's another one from the mid 80s. It didn't chart, and I do wonder again why it didn't. But perhaps times had moved on. It's a much smoother record, perhaps production maybe from the original style of the Glitter Band, but it's a great catchy tune. Jerry's vocals start softly, then they're really raw at points through the song. In my opinion, I think it's melodic rock or soft rock rather than glam rock. Maybe they'd broken free from the glam rock image by then. It's certainly rocky, that's for sure. And I think that we're saying about people like you and people like me, this is a song which really demonstrates the strong and the successful songwriting partnership of Springy and Jerry, as the lyrics fit perfectly with the music and vice versa. There's only one criticism I've got of it, and there's a point during the song after Jerry says, so I remember when we met and I fell for you, something like that. I remember when we met and I fell for, and the backing vocals are oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
They could have said hoi hoi, hey hey, perhaps, I don't know, but that's really my only criticism.
That was humour coming out because of the funky new wavy thing.
Yeah, it's really catchy. Like I said, again another one I love. I don't dislike any of these songs that we've listened to today. Love them all. This one I give an 8.
Joe.
Yeah, I miss this one as well. I listened to it and I think it's like, I may be wrong, an attempt to recapture glory days somewhat. I don't know. I like it. It's a great song and I'll give it a 6.
Richard.
Yeah, it's like Susan said, it's quite a rocky song, isn't it? It's quite rocky compared to some of the songs. I thought the production on this was a bit thin. I don't know. I'd like a bit of body somewhere. Yeah,
It's muddy.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good guitar work in there from Jerry, definitely.
Nice riff.
I think it would have benefited from a small solo in there somewhat. Not a long one, but just 4 bars or something. Just to give it something else But I do like it. I can imagine. I can't remember ever hearing them do it live, but I think it would work live.
Yeah, they did it live at Gary's shows.
Oh,
around
did
that
they?
time, Richard.
Right.
Yeah, the set they did in between
Yeah.
these two bits. Yeah, they
Oh,
actually threw
right.
that one in there.
I'd like to have heard that. Yeah. I'll give it a 7.
Handy.
Yeah, so when this was released, I think there was a write-up by somebody, short write-up, and said that it was a shame because it was quite a muddy mix, and I'd agree with that. And obviously it could be a bit more beefy in places, but it's got a bit of glitter to it, I'd say. It's a little bit, I don't like the term new wave actually, but it's a bit new wavy as well, which was probably a good way to go. And in some ways, I'd still argue, talking to Pete and John about doing a few sort of hybridy glitter, new wavy type songs. But yeah, I like it. I think it's catchy. Some nice guitar riffs in there from Jerry. His voice is a bit strained in a couple of places, but it doesn't matter with Jerry really. Yeah, it's a song I like. I would give it a 7.5.
Andy, do you remember when we chatted to Springy, he told quite a funny story about Chaz Chandler, Slade's manager, and this song.
Off the top of my head, no.
What he said was that Chaz had a radio show for a while.
Yeah.
And Chaz played it, and it was on his own label. And Chaz played it and said, yeah, I like that song. I'm not quite sure who it is.
Yes.
How good's that?
Sat there, yeah.
Brilliant. And sticking with John, look, around this time he made some beautifully produced solo records, such as A Song for Christmas and My Life. He's tried something different with this one, particularly due to circumstances. After all, he's making a glitter band record rather than solo record. And I agree with everyone else. I think about the production, I don't think it quite works, and it just seems to, as Andy, I think, used the word muddy, and I'm saying the same thing. It just seems to lack clarity in parts. But I do like the song's catchy chorus, and I reckon it's a great title.
Yes, it is.
7.
Yeah.
And that's it for this podcast, everyone. So thanks, Susan.
You're welcome. Enjoyed it again.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks very much, mate. And everyone else.
Look forward to the
Yep.
next one, Joe. And Richard, thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Just to finish, Andy and I are working on some band member related interviews, which hopefully we'll have sorted over the next couple of months. You've probably realised that there are quite a few singles that we haven't covered. Part 2 of this series will follow in the middle of the year. And thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.